to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am excited about today's video and review for you today. So if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for those who continue to tune in from week to week, I appreciate you and welcome back. And so I am coming in today with my first special occasion dress. Can you just imagine? I have not ever sewn a special occasion dress, at least a special occasion pattern. And this is, of course, Vogue 1861, the Badgley Mischka dress. I did view A, and so I have plenty of notes. Here is the dress. I have quite a bit to say. Have me playing in the background, maybe pull up a chair, whatever, however you want to do it. But as I gather my notes, I am going to go ahead and jump right in so you can see the fit adjustments that I made, and I did share a couple of tips as well. So I'll let that roll and I'll get my notes together. Okay, here is the bodice fit. This is one thing I absolutely love about princess seams. They just go better on me personally. You don't have to worry about moving darts. But anyway, so here's my waist. This is the size 24 and is hitting right where I want it to hit on the waist. This is how it's looking on the back, and it's stopping right where it should. Yeah, I'm thinking she's a go. The only thing I did put in the zipper, not perfect or anything like that. My only thing is this, but because the bodice is fully lined, and it could be the way I cut this out, because I see on this side I have this extra room, but on this side it's really not happening. So I don't, but it is just a little bit. So I don't know if I should bother with that, because again, it's gonna be fully lined, and I don't know if I'm gonna regret not doing anything, because I almost feel like I can raise this up a little bit and then pinch this out. But if I'm wondering if that's doing too much, I'm gonna mark it. I'm actually gonna mark it, because it almost looked like, but remember, this will be lined, which is gonna take out a little bit of that. But I don't know. We'll see. I might take out just a pinch, because I know, again, it's going to be fully lined, and then the ruffle is going over here. You all know I do not like high necklines, but because that whole ruffle situation is going to be going on right here, I'm fine with the higher neckline, and which will hide if there's going to be anything. I might just I don't know, because you can still see my bra, so I might raise that up. I'm gonna measure it. I'm gonna raise that up just a little bit on both sides, and then I'm gonna pinch out maybe 3/8 of an inch. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pinch out about 3/8 of an inch here, because it's laying beautifully here, you know. And if I pinch that out, that's not doing anything, and I want to raise that up. So I'm going to measure that on me, how much to adjust the pattern for, and all I'm going to do is just add right here. That's it, on both sides. Measure that, and then pinch out a little bit, which looks like it's going to be the the side piece. I need to take out just a little bit. That's what I'm going to do. All right, outside of that, I think I'm good. I am good. I'm surprised this is hitting exactly where it needs to hit. I thought I would have to lower this in the front. At least I thought I was going to have to lower it. But nope, it is good. All right, gonna make these adjustments. Okay, so this is what I did. Talking about kind of making it up as you go along. So remember, I had that extra, right, it was about right here. I had marked it on my muslin. And so what I did was took out 1 inch. And what I did was cut into the seam allowance area down here and made a hinge and just pull this down, because the issue was right up underneath here with just the side piece. And so me doing that didn't really distort this. I mean, this is how much it opened up on this side. But yeah, so I needed to fold that down. So I got that off. And then I raised this like 1.5 inches because I was thinking the muslin I was trying on, it wasn't folded in to reflect once I add the lining. So we're going to see. I don't know. We shall see how it works. You will see. Okay, so one of the reasons I'm super happy I did buy, which a total of 12 yards of that Ankara fabric, is this is one of the pattern pieces. This is that ruffle. This is B. So make sure you have enough fabric because it is laid out here on my floor. Cannot lay it out because it needs to be single. And yeah, this is a very long piece. So I'm about to cut this out. And then I am going to show you the piece for the sash, which is, woo, humongous. Oh, and I should be cutting this off. It says cutting this out on the, kind of on the bias, but I'm not. So yeah, it'll be fine. And this is the sash. So piece number 13 is all of this. This is a huge, huge. I haven't cut out a sash this big before, but I'm here for it. I like a thick sash. Love it, love it, love it. So I'm about to cut this out. Everything else can be cut out on my cutting table. Okay, quick tip. Because you have to sew your ruffle pieces together, which is 5 and 6, which end up making it really, really long. And it tells you to fold it wrong sides together, and you have to baste it. If you do that and you have made your markings on the wrong side of the fabric, which I typically do, I always do that. But if I were to fold this, I wouldn't see my markings anymore. So my suggestion to you, I just came back to my table and remarked everything from the pattern onto this pattern piece. So for pieces 5 and 6, obviously use a marking tool that's removable, erasable, you know, can wipe away, whatever the case may be, and mark the right side of your fabric when you do mark pieces 5 and 6. Well, mainly piece 5, the longer piece, because yeah, you won't be able to see where the pleating and where some of those other markings are supposed to be on your fabric. So yeah, after I stitched it together, I was like, wait, I can't see my markings anymore. So quick tip, just wanted to add that in there. Okay, so I'm coming in on step 7. This is where you attach that huge ruffle piece to your bodice. So when you sew the bodice together, the outside fabric, you leave one side open, and so the left shoulder open. So that's where you're attaching and where that pleat goes. So I want to show you what that looks like, because I was thinking when I put the pleat in, I'm thinking I bet that's going to go at that shoulder, and it does. But let me just show you what I'm going to do slightly different, because you're supposed to gather that entire ruffle, but I am not going to gather. I am actually going to pleat, but I just want to show you what this is looking like. Okay, so here is your bodice, your outer bodice that you put together, right? And you've sewn up the one shoulder and you have the other shoulder open. So with this ruffle that you just did all the way around, and then you had put that pleat in right here, the pleat that you created should meet to the front bodice right in the front, and there were notches there that should match up. I've clipped into here so much, I'm not quite sure which notch is what notch, but I know it goes here. So I'm just going to center the pleat right here like so. Hopefully you can see that. I'll zoom in just a little bit. So let me move the back of the bodice. So what I am doing is that front pleat there, and the pleat is facing up, so like so. And so this section here needs to go to the front part of the bodice, and I'm just going to clip this in place. And so what I have decided to do is, the skirt calls to be gathered. I don't want a gathered skirt. I tend to not particularly care for gathered skirts, and so it just depends on the style for the most part. But for the most part, I don't care for gathered skirts. I'm gonna pleat it in, so I'm pleating in my ruffle as well, just to have consistency. Okay, coming back to give a quick update. I did not pleat it down because it was making that area much more bulkier than it needed to be. And since this will be lined, I didn't want all of the seams where I was planning to do the pleating to just be too bulky. And so what I did was go ahead and gather, and I'm glad I double checked that too, because this is the front. Oh, yeah, you can see that. This is the front, this is the side that has the ruffle on it. I actually need to go all the way down the side front of the bodice. I had stopped it at the arm side, at the top of the arm side, but I needed to go all the way down. So I had to kind of do my gathering. But it is all in from the back all the way around the neckline, all the way around the arm side, down to the front. All right, everybody. Okay, so I hope that first part made sense. If you have any questions, definitely leave them down in the comment section below. But yeah, I am so happy with it. Now, there are a couple things that I did incorrectly. I will share that with you, but nevertheless, I am so happy with this dress. I am so happy with it. My first special occasion dress that I have ever made, and of course thinking outside the box, because I'm thinking, okay, as you all know, I think I shared in my plans video that the pattern calls for fabrics such as Mikado, Shantung, taffeta, the petticoat to be made out of netting, the lining fabric, and all of that. So yeah, I didn't do that. I used, as you all saw in this is part of my 5-piece summer nights collection, and so this is the first piece. And in a couple weeks, actually, let me just share with you real quick the lineup. So Wednesday will be my Destashify Makes. Next week Sunday will be the August Simplicity pattern pick, and that is a complete sew along. And so I'll be making 2 dresses from that pattern, but the sew along will be next week Sunday, and then next week Wednesday should be my layer cake dress that I made. And so stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. I would greatly appreciate it. And so what I am wearing, I always forget, I apologize. I am wearing Vogue 1937. She has pockets. And so yes, this, if you want to make this dress, beautiful dress, it just came out this year, is a Sandra Bedzina Vogue dress. I made a sew along. There is a sew along for this. I just did it a couple months ago, so I'll leave that up in the iCards and probably have it pop up at the end of this video. So Vogue 1861. I will say I was thinking about doing a sew along for this. I'm glad I did not for two reasons. One, because the amount of mistakes that I made with this dress, and there was a lot of unpicking. And so, yeah, I made too many mistakes for me to have tried to do a sew along. But then, as I was, you know, making it and everything, I went out on YouTube to see if there was a sew along for this. And actually, Anne Marie's workshop, the one who's running her Sew Reversible challenge for the month of August, she actually has a sew along, or is it a sew with me? Because it's not, she's not taking you step by step through the steps for making it, but she is going over certain things as she's putting it together, if that makes sense. And so go check out her channel. I'll leave a link to her video for 1861 Below. She actually did it in the fabrics that the pattern calls for. I did not. So if you want to know all of that and everything and tips that she shared in that video, then go watch her video. So if you're thinking like me, maybe you want to do it a different type of fabric, I did mine in Ankara. Yeah, so stay tuned. So here we go. We're gonna jump right in. This dress, for the most part, is relatively, I would say, advanced, beginner. What are the levels? Beginner, intermediate, and then advanced. Maybe intermediate, beginner. I would say, I guess that's level 2. I don't know. I say go for it, but that's just me. And the reason I say it's pretty good in that the thing is, there is a side zip on this, so the bodice is lined. So maybe it's more advanced, beginner. Bodice is lined, but what I love, and I mentioned this in the fitting part, I absolutely love that this is, I think I'm finding I prefer princess seams over bodices with darts. And so having said that, and I was thinking about this after I made this and just thinking, you know, future projects, that I may actually, for bodices that calls for bust darts, transforming that pattern into the bodice into princess seams, because I think I just like the way princess seams lay on me, being more fuller bust and everything. I think I like that better. And so but anyway, so I do like that. You do got a lot going on with this ruffle situation, and we're gonna get into, you know, how I kind of messed that up, but it still look good. But so you do have 13 pieces. There are 13 pattern pieces. The time I would say to take to put this together, after cutting out, you saw that cutting for a couple of these pieces is woo, but after cutting out, and mind you, the cutting out that I did, I only lined the bodice. I did not line the skirt piece, right? So for me, after the cutting out, if you're cutting out everything that, you know, they recommend, then yeah, it might take a little bit longer time for cutting, but the cutting a day, sewing, taking your time, maybe 2 days. So maybe this is a 3-day project, as long as you're not in a rush. And I had did it in phases, and so it wasn't until it got pushed up to the very last minute where, you know, those final parts that you need to do, then it was like last minute and I was trying to hurry up and finish. But anyway, so we had 13 pieces. This Ankara fabric is actually from Afri clothing store. And so Ankara bundles, usually when you buy the bundles of Ankara from pretty much any website, they come in 6-yard bundles. And so if you remember in my plans video, and I'll leave a link to that up in the iCards, and maybe have that also pop up at the end of this video. So if you want to see what my 5-piece summer collection, my 5-piece nighttime summer collection is, that'll pop up at the end. But you all know during that plans video, I said whatever I decided to make, the fabric to use to make the dress, I knew I needed a lot of it. And just so you have an idea, so view A, which is the view that I made, and I'll make sure the line drawing is popped up. View A dress and sash for 60-inch wide fabric calls for between sizes 20 and 24, which are the sizes I was focusing on, is 5 1/8 fabric. But if you're going to use 45, so it only recommends you use 60-inch wide fabric, right? The petticoat, it says 72-inch, but obviously, you know, you use 60-inch, and then lining was 45-inch. And so pretty much the body of the dress they recommend on 60-inch wide fabric. I did not. My Ankara, as you know, comes 45 inches wide. So as I think I did mention in the first part that for the skirt pieces I had to turn the fabric crosswise so I can fold that up to be able to get the skirt pieces out. I think I had to do that. Yes, I think I did for one of the pieces. I think for one of the pieces, but obviously from the design you cannot tell where I did that, and I can't even tell, right? And so and then the sash itself is humongous, huge, 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 huge. And so yeah, and you need a lot of fabric for that. So for me, I bought 2-yard bundles, which means I had 12 yards of fabric. I only have about, out of 12 yards, about 2.5 yards left. So I did use a chunk of fabric. And like I said, I lined the bodice. And so as you saw, I did, the size that I cut is a size 24. So I went with a straight 24 for the entire dress. So that's what I went for. 45 bust, 39, 40, I think I measured at the time, 40 waist and 52 hips. So I just went with a straight size 24, and I did the muslin. As you can tell, the mock-up, that did work. I raised it, as you saw, 1.5 inches, and then I folded down. And I only had to do this to the side front. So as you can tell from the muslin fit, it was just that side front piece that was pretty much giving me some fit issues there. And so with my bra, we got to cover the whole bra band, people. And so yeah, I needed to raise that up, and then I wanted to make sure there was enough coverage, and then take out some of that extra fabric that was there. So that worked. And I'm gonna pop up some pictures and quick video here too as well, because this requires so much fabric. Pieces 5 and 13 you do have to tape together, so do keep that in mind. You are taping some pieces together. One of the things that Anne-Marie mentioned in her video was that petticoat that goes underneath. They refer to it as a ruffle piece as opposed to petticoat. I'm not sure why. I'm glad I did watch her video and she mentioned that. So yeah, keep that in mind, because you'll notice the pattern pieces, you don't want to accidentally, if you're not planning to do that petticoat, it's termed on the pattern piece ruffle. So keep that in mind. And if you're doing like me, you don't even need that piece at all. I did write down how much fabric. I'm just reading over my notes before I get into it. But what did I learn? I learned a few things. One thing that I learned is, this is my first special occasion dress. So I've never worked with the taffetas and all of that type of thing to make a garment. But I like a special occasion dress. Now I like have new, you all know I'm in this phase where things are just kind of like, ooh, you know, I'm like excited about things. And so with this pattern, it's a special occasion dress, but I am so happy I use non-special occasion fabric to make the dress. When I tell y'all I felt so absolutely glamorous in it, it's just, I felt glamorous. We had a lovely dinner out. I'll pop up pictures and video and all of that. But we had a lovely dinner out. When I tell you guys, we were looking forward to our anniversary celebration dinner out, because we had a rough couple weeks. If you guys quick story. For those who don't follow me on Instagram, I shared on Instagram how it was 3 weeks ago now. I was driving and my vehicle shut off in the middle of traffic, and it was blocking traffic and everything. It was, anyway, but thank God there was some maintenance workers. They were doing lawn work or something in a neighborhood, and they came over to push my car off the street. And so the tow truck came and all that. Long story short, we had a cracked engine, so that we were not fixing that. We were able to sell it and to CarMax. Anybody familiar? In the United States, you're familiar with that, and they gave us way more than we thought we were gonna get. And so I just thank God mercies was upon us, because me and my husband do not like debt. We own a home, yes, that's, you know, that's a little different, but we did not want a car note. And I can just tell you, praise report, we do not have one, but we do have a new certified pre-owned vehicle that we were able to pay cash for, that we just got maybe by the time you're seeing this a few days ago. And so when we went out to dinner and everything, it was just like a weight lifted off. It was like the dress was done, his outfit was done, because I made his too, and you know, the whole car situation was taken care of. And so we are so very grateful for that. But anyway, get back to the dress. So let me share with you, here's the sash. This sucker is huge, but I love it. I love it. I was not mad at how long it was, because I love, if I make, you all know I don't like fabric belts that come with patterns unless I'm making Ankara. Then I don't mind making the sash or belt or whatever that goes with it, depending on the style, right? And so for this, I absolutely love it. This thing is huge, and so I love it. So let me share with you a couple things. So I did not have, I thought I had at least a white invisible zipper. Did not, only had black, so that's what went in. And she is not so invisible. I tell you guys, you all know, if you've been following along, sometimes I'm like spot on with my invisible zippers. Other times it's like she's not so invisible. So she is not so invisible, and so, but that's okay, she still looks good. And this, oh, I love this. The pockets are nice, not nice size pocket. My whole hand goes in there, which is really nice. I did obviously struggle with instructions to a certain degree. I honestly do not think the instructions are bad. I just think because I went through, there were so many things that I kept unpicking, and I think I was confusing myself a little bit because the inside of the fabric and the outside is the same fabric, which I would not change. It's just I would just take my time and probably marking the fabric, making sure, because I don't think I did, and I try to remember to do this. So my tip is put a post-it note, washi tape or something, if you're using the same fabric for your lining, the outside, and different stuff like that, so you don't accidentally sew something on incorrectly. And so, because that's what I did, that was a lot of my unpicking and mistakes that I made. But I absolutely love this. You have the center back seam on the skirt as well as the bodice. I put pleats in the bottom as opposed to gathers. I just think pleating for me on my body just looks better than a bunch of gathers around my waist, which seems to make me look fuller and feel fuller. I don't know what that is, but I did overall I did gather this part. You saw initially I wanted to pleat it. That was way too much. It would have been way too bulky for all of that, plus with, you know, lining it and everything. So yeah, I did not do that. What was new to me, because I couldn't figure out what the hook and eyes were for. I don't own hook and eyes, so that was why there was a pause in completing this towards the end, because I don't have hook and eyes, so I had to go to the store to get them, and I just picked up a pack from Walmart. But I think initially when I went through the instructions and I saw hook and eyes, I just assumed it was for this zipper part. And you know how they have the hook and eye at the top? That's what I thought it was for. So, you know, I really wasn't paying attention. And no, it is not. And actually, this zipper should be on this side. But the reason it is not, this is something else where I made a mistake. So the ruffle, and I'll pop up the pattern here, it's supposed to go into the left side princess seam. So this ruffle is going down the front. Mine is going into the side seam. And when I was constructing it, I was thinking, why is this going into the side seam? And because I just like looked at the instructions and saw what to do and everything after because it takes a long time to gather all of this ruffle, because this piece is huge. Goes all around the neck, right? Goes all around the neck, down the front. And, but you know, I must have been pausing and stopping when I attached it. And after I put it together, the bodice piece, I was like, that's interesting. Not thinking before I attached the lining to look at the pattern again, because clearly on the front cover that this ruffle is going down that princess seam, not down the side seam. This was actually the side I was supposed to have the zipper in. And I was wondering when I got to that part, why, you know, why did they want the zipper in the same side where the ruffle is going? Not realizing, ma'am, the ruffle is supposed to be going down the princess seam, not down the side seam. And so by the time I realized all that, I wasn't obviously unpicking all of that and everything. So I just left it. But when I tell you, this dress still looked cute, still looked super cute. And so I just put the zipper on this side. What I end up doing is going back in, because this was sewn up, this side was sewn up, because I knew the zipper was supposed to go on this side. I just unpicked the bodice so I can put the zipper on this side and just sewed this up with the ruffle included in it. So that's what I did. She has to go to the cleaners. This is not something I will wash, even though it's Ankara. But y'all see all these ruffles and pleats. I am not about to steam or press all of this. I was like, it's worth going to the cleaners. I'll let this one go to the cleaners. I loved how it looked on me. The other thing that was new to me, so the hook and eye, I don't think I finished that thought. It's actually for the shoulder where the ruffle is. That's where you attach your hook and eye, and how you would get in and out of the dress. Although I will say this, I like how it went together. It was really, let's see here if this will focus. See there, you just, the hook and eye, you see how that goes? And then it just completes over the shoulder. That is so super easy. So super easy. That was really cute. But I didn't get it because there was this small pattern piece which where you attach the hook and eye, and I was like, well, what is this for? And then once I finished, I was like, oh, how nice is that? But still, with the whole zipper and everything, let me just tell you, how I got in this, I didn't even undo the hook and eye. It wasn't even necessary. I just unzipped this, pulled it over my head, and zipped this side up, and that was it. So yeah, I didn't even undo this, but that's fine. Sorry, the camera cut off, but what I would say is, I would say this is fitted to my body, but not overly fitted, which I want. I want to be able to breathe. It doesn't have to like hug every single curve on me. But I would think if you do decide to make this where it really is fitted, say fitted, because I wouldn't say my dress fits like snug, like close to the body, like the illustrations on the front of the pattern. But if you do want it like that, you probably will need to undo this here and unzip the zipper in order to get into the dress, right? And so yeah, I love the pleating on the front. I love the way it looked. I will go ahead and pop up some pictures. One of the other things I wanted to share with you that I did, and you guys, I'm just excited. I don't know, I just have like this new excitement with my sewing journey and everything as of late, and so I'm just rolling with it. But when I tell you, I'm gonna have to go through my, I don't think I have that many special occasion dresses. I know I have this one. I'm gonna have to see how many more that I have. And I want to do more of things like this where it doesn't, if it's calling for your taffeta and your silks and all of that, I want to do it in maybe Ankara or some other type of fabric, just to get a little bit of a different look, but it's still special occasion, because I think that's what this was. I think I was able to pull that off. You have to let me know what you think, but I don't even know if you're going to even be able to see this at all, but I want to turn the dress inside out for you, because one of the things that I did, I'm super proud of, I had sat on my couch. Y'all would not believe this, but you all know me in this whole stitching in the ditch don't always work out that well. And even though this is a busy fabric, you wouldn't have been able to tell anyway. What I did do was use my heat bond to fold the seam down to enclose that seam in the waist. And I went through and sat on my couch and actually hand sewed it down after that. Y'all gotta let me know if you're proud of me for that one. But yeah, I just wanted to go the extra step, so I did. And I definitely am not good at hand sewing, so it's something I would have to continue to play with. But it definitely, let me hold this up, it looks good. It's all down. She is clean on the inside. And then my zipper, can you tell, I just put fabric at the end, because actually I forgot what size zipper it calls for, but I had a much longer zipper, so I ended up cutting the zipper down. And so at the bottom I end up just adding fabric tab at the bottom. But yeah, the bottom of the skirt is serged, so I did serge. In the hem I just turned under twice. And so yeah, I love it. I am so proud of myself. So super proud of myself for doing a pattern like that. I will honestly say can tend to languish in my stash, because I'm thinking, oh, where am I wear that? You know, this type of thing. And you know, I don't want to get any taffeta or, you know, whatever the fabric choice is. But I'm so happy that I just went for it, and I did it in a fabric that was different, fabric based, that the pattern did not call for. And again, like I said, I felt absolutely amazing, felt absolutely beautiful. We had a beautiful time out. Dinner was good, the night was good, the day was good. It was all good. And so yeah, you all have to let me know what you think about this. I highly recommend this pattern. I think this pattern is good for parts as well as the full garment. And what do I mean by that? You all know I'm enjoying the whole idea of hacking and all of that these days. So the bodice piece with this whole ruffle, providing, hey, you could do the ruffle like this, like I accidentally did, or make sure the ruffle goes down the center seam, but then add this bodice onto something else, because I think the top of this looks fabulous. And or make it a peplum, you know, something like that. I think it's so good for parts. Now the skirt in itself, obviously you can, I think the skirt is pretty normal skirt. Is nothing special about the skirt. It's more so, like I would say, parts mashing this with something else. And I would say for sure, just this top piece, for sure you can put on other things on the bottom. For those who are into jumpsuits, how about you attach some, because you already have the zipper, right, that goes all the way down on the side. If you're into jumpsuits, this would be so cute as a jumpsuit actually. And so I absolutely love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let me know what you think. Like I said, it took me across of 3 days to put together and all of that. I'm so super happy with how everything turned out. So let me know what you think down in the description, or down in the comment section, and stay tuned. Again, don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up the video. You'll see my Destashify make on Wednesday, and then the month of September, it looks like I had to kind of redo my schedule. That should be the rest of my 5-piece Summer Nights collection. You'll start seeing that throughout the month of September. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited about that. I'm actually, you guys, super excited about fall sewing. Even though it's still relatively warm here, we still have cool days and all that different type of stuff. So it does get cold here. It don't last long, but it still gets cold here. So I am looking forward to my fall sewing as well. So that is it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comment section below. Hopefully I popped up the pictures and everything and you saw a video and all of that and how she looked. I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. So let me know what you think. And hey, are you that type? Maybe I'm late to the show, but are you that type? Would you take a special occasion dress such as this that might call for your taffetas, your silks and all of that and just say, no, I'm going to use Ankara, I'm going to use a linen or something else and still get that beautiful, I'm loving it. I'm having fun, you guys, with my sewing. Having fun, trying new things and making mistakes along the way, but it is all good. I love it. All right, everybody, that is it. Stay tuned for Wednesday's video, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We will see you then. Have a blessed week. Bye.